Greetings, my friends. Welcome to the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. I'm so excited to be here with each of you. I hope that you guys are having an incredible day. And I know our show is just getting started and it's a lot of fun. I'm super happy. I'm thankful that I'm here with each of you. And I hope that you guys have had a great week. I know all of us are dealing with various things, and I know some of you lovebirds out there, you've got Valentine's Day around the corner. I wish you the best and much love for that. And so, long story short, I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves. Let's put self-care at the forefront of what we do in this season, this new year. I can't believe it's already February. The new year is already flying by. So, with that said, welcome to the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. If you've not been on the show before, I hope that you guys will have a great time. And so with that said, I want to talk a little bit about some announcements regarding the show. So first things first, the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White will be aired on the radio station SoulNet WKDH every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So visit www.soulnetwkdh.com to tune in. That is located in Gainesville, Florida. Very thankful to Ken for that opportunity. Now, if you want to be featured on the show, please make sure that you're sending me an email or photo with your photo and bio to india.white.123@gmail.com. You can also find it on my website, which is www.india-white.com. If you go to the tab that says Real Talk Show, you can go on there and you can request to be a part of the show. You can also donate to the Real Talk Show. If you like what we air, if you want to be a part of what we do, if you would even like to be a co-host or whatever, reach out to me and let's make something happen. All right. So now, also, I love to have people follow me on social media. So social media has been so comforting to me over the years. I've met so many wonderful people, and I don't think I've met all of them yet. So please follow me on social media. My Facebook account is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. Instagram is Indie238. YouTube is India White 123. Okay. And again, my website is www.india-white.com. So I'm excited to be here. Also, the Real Talk Show will be featured on Swain Girl Media Channel as well, hosted by Precious Swain, and that is on Fire Stick. So make sure you tune in there to her station and all of the great channels, as well as the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White, for some great entertainment and to watch previous shows. Again, I spoke to you guys about my website, which I'm super excited about. The website is india-white.com. So please make sure that you take a look at that. I also want to make an announcement of a new journal that I was able to create. I did it out of passion. I did it out of I guess when I was thinking about everything that I could contribute in this world, I wanted to leave this journal for people of, Christian like faith or whatever. This show covers all different types of topics. It's just called A Journal for Every Apostolic Believer. So make sure that you go to Amazon.com and get your copy for that. And so now what we are going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about business. We're going to talk about just basically your aspirations and things like that. So I hope to have a guest on the show. If the guest cannot come on the show, it's all great because we will definitely have her on sooner than later. And we're going to talk business with her as well. Hopefully she'll be able to get on the show. But, with everything going on in our society, we definitely have learned to be flexible in these times. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about business and about what it is that you aspire to do, whether you aspire to open up your own business or not. I want to encourage you to go ahead and move forward with your aspirations. There are wonderful people out there, wonderful business, leaders out there that would even help you with your business. And so, speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to a group called 100 Successful Women in Business because they are amazing. And I'm thankful to say that I have been chosen to be an ambassador for them, which means that I am going to be highlighting them and their amazing opportunities that they have coming up. There are so many great things coming up this month, this year for 100 Successful Women in Business. Now, for example, if you are in the Tampa area, there are some live events that they will be having in Tampa coming up in the next month or so. I think it's in March. There's also an event in Orlando coming up. They've got events in Miami. There are going to be events out of state, even in Atlanta, and even an amazing opportunity that women will be able to take advantage of in London. So there's so many great things going on with the 100 Successful Women in Business. And so I'm giving them a shout out. And I am saying, if you're a woman and you're a business owner, you're aspiring to be a business owner, this is the avenue for you to become connected to a phenomenal group of women and leaders that will support you and help you get up and going. They will help you jumpstart your business. They will help you have the right connections. It's just a win-win situation. So I did want to put that out there for you guys about 100 Successful Women in Business because these things are great. And I will also be posting things on my social media channels as well. You should visit their website, www. I'm going to put it up there, 100swb.com. Okay. And when you visit their website, make sure you tell them, if you are, when you reach out to them, say, hey, India sent me your way, so that they can know exactly, where you're coming from, how you got their information, and maybe they can help you, get you, hooked up with an amazing deal or whatnot. You never know, right? So we're in this thing to help each other and to support each other out. So I want to find out, like, for all of those that do go to 100 Successful Women in Business events, or you're looking for those opportunities, please make sure that you tell them that India sent you their way, okay, so that we can work together. So now, with that said, I want to talk more, like I said to you guys, about business. So one thing about owning a business is there are many blueprints for owning a business, but you are only one person, and so you have your own blueprint. And so with that said, it's imperative that you find out what your purpose is and why you are in business. Also, I want to encourage you and say that if you are in business, maybe you could run multiple businesses, or you could do one business very well. There's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur and running multiple businesses, but you just have to do your homework and you have to have the right supports in place. One thing I found about running businesses or working with business people is you have to be willing to ask for help, be vulnerable, right? And to have that support. The reason why is because you might be a rock star and all amazing by yourself, but there's nothing like having an amazing team of leaders that are thought thinkers and they're forward thinking like you, and you can join them and do so many great things together. So, yeah, so with that said, I want to talk a little bit about some of the stats. So I went to Zapier.com and I found out some information about business. It says here that around 61% of Americans want to start a business, and 34% have more than one. Good job. Good job to the 34%. Yes. Okay, so we all know that many of us are aspiring to build wealth, accumulate wealth, do something. And I can tell you that the best way to do it, people have suggested that you have to have at least 7 streams of income. If you have one job, God bless you. I'm not judging you for that, but it's going to be more difficult for you to, build wealth, transfer wealth, build a legacy if you only have one source of income. So you've got to figure out how can you use your skill set and go out there and be great. One thing I've learned too is that sometimes people are afraid to start a business or do a side hustle because they're afraid of losing their main income, their main job, whatever, which is a great concern. But Another thing I think about is this. What if you are truly purposed to start your own business, and I'm speaking to myself. What if you are truly purposed to start your own business and do great things, whether it's for God's purpose, your purpose, whatever, and you are holding yourself back because of the opinions of people and fear, and because of that thousands or millions are going without, because you have to overcome you have to overcome anxiety and things like that. And so, with that said, I'm going to leave you on that note. I'm very excited to bring on our guest. We're going to talk a little bit more about this with her. Again, I'm highlighting a wonderful woman who is an advocate for animals. She's a poet. She does so many great things. And so, with that said, I'm going to bring on the show to the Real Talk Show today, Cheyenne Beasley. Thank you so much
Hi,
for joining the show. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Sorry about being a little late. My phone decided it wanted to be a butthead.
Okay, I'm not sure. Let me see if your microphone is working. I might be having technical difficulties, not sure. Can you repeat yourself?
My phone was being a little weird today. I'm sorry if I'm late.
Can you
Can
hear
you hear
me?
me? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for some reason I just can't. Um, I don't know why I can't hear you. So I would say maybe try it again or whatever. That happens. It's no big deal. Let's see. Let's see here what we can do for you. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I think you just have to on your end. It's just, okay. Try it now. It says that you're not muted. Is your volume up? So, guys, this is Cheyenne. She is a poet and animal advocate in Oklahoma. So we're gonna.
Can you hear me now?
I cannot hear you, but what she can do is, as we work on having Cheyenne on the show, she could work on finding out her mic issues, and we can just do the chat with her. But in the meantime, like I was talking to you guys earlier about business, um, business and making sure that we're aspiring to be great business owners and all this other stuff. We want to make sure that we are not holding ourselves back. Again, look at these numbers. The numbers say 61% of Americans want to start a business. Okay, 34% have one. That number I think should be higher. I think both of those numbers should be higher. I think it should be like 85% of people want to start a business, and at least 60% have a business. However, long story short, these are the numbers. And so I think that many people hold themselves back um, due to people's opinions, due to fear, due to a lack of knowledge. And I do think that this is a year where we all can become that business person that we're all aspiring to be. Let's try Cheyenne again. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, hon. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on, sweetie. Just you could just put something in the yeah, put something in the chat. It might be your settings if you check your mic settings. She's gonna check her mic settings. It's okay, guys. We know we're in COVID world. We are in technology world. So I think all of us are kind of used to this. So, but a little bit about business. There's, you could start an LLC business. You could start a nonprofit where, of course, you need a board and things like that. However, I don't want you guys to ever feel like you are limited in being your authentic self, the authentic leader. One thing that holds us back, I feel that holds us back too, is the fear of failure, even a fear of success. Sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't know, what if this really did work? Then I would really have to own up and be responsible and push out the services that I said I offer. Or there's a fear of failure. Hey, what if I did go all the way and then everything plummeted? And so I hope that you guys aren't living in that fear. But all right, let's try it again, Cheyenne. Are you ready, Cheyenne? We're gonna try Cheyenne again, guys. Hello? I don't know if you
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
mic set or
Is it my mic? Is it not working anymore?
yeah, I think it's just the computer. I think the computer. So how about this? We're gonna communicate with you through chat. Okay,
Okay, that
so
works
what you
works
can
much
do
better.
is I'm going to ask you a question because we've got Cheyenne on the show from Oklahoma. I'm so excited to have her on the show. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask you questions and you can type the questions in the chat. So, Cheyenne, tell us a little bit about yourself. So she's going to write in the chat. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll wait on your response. And we've been talking about business since, so we will make sure to get this going good for you. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, try speaking again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yay.
Awesome. Yay.
Okay, I'm glad you're able to get that fixed. Yay. So you're saying, okay, in your chat you put I'm a mom, I'm a poet, and ooh, I'm a newly engaged woman. Congratulations.
Yeah. The nonprofit that we're starting right now is actually mine and my fiance's big project. His grandfather passed away about a year ago, and they left the land to his mom, and we moved out here to help her. It's about 5 acres, so it's a lot of work, but we're trying. It's very, very difficult sometimes, but it's coming from a background the way that I have. I grew up in a single mother household. 5 girls, 5 sisters, all of us.
Wow.
Yeah,
Busy times.
it was a little difficult, especially around that time, you know.
Yeah.
But we've actually had a lot of success whenever it comes to stuff. My mom passed away back in 2011 of lung cancer, unfortunately.
Sorry to hear that. Ugh, it's tough.
Yeah, but she raised me to be a very, very strong woman. I watched her. None of all the sisters are. All of my sisters have different dads. So she went through the ringer a few times whenever it came to men in her life. And watching that strength and going through what I've been through, I've been previously married twice. Both relationships didn't end out so well. I'm hoping for a better one this time. But yeah.
Well, Valentine's Day is around the corner, so love is in the air. I wish you the best of that, and I think it's great that you guys are both aspiring to do business together. I think that's something that's positive, right? That's good energy. That's forward thinking together. So I think that in a relationship, you do want to be kind of together on some of these ideas. So I think that's great that you guys are aspiring to do business together, and yeah, so it sounds like it's starting great. Now, how long have you guys been together?
Well, we've known each other since since high school. We were together for a little while, and then life happened. I ended up getting married, and he ended up going our separate ways. But after I had my daughter, which is another long story, but she is my little miracle baby. I never thought I would have a little girl who is so smart and so courageous. If you guys get a chance, you guys should check out her YouTube channel.
What's her YouTube channel?
It's Sophia the Science Girl. She's literally one of the smartest kids in the U.S. She has an IQ of in the 140 range. I believe it's 148. Last
Wow.
time I checked.
Very nice. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
They say the genes come from the mama. So,
Yeah. Uh, Whenever it comes to her smarts, in between me and her biological father, she's definitely very, very gifted.
very
Um,
nice.
she had to watch me go through 6 years of hell, unfortunately. But because she did that, I think it helped her with her compassion. And she actually, when we were in South Carolina, because I lived in Oklahoma, I grew up in Oklahoma, but I moved to South Carolina after I got pregnant with her to be with my dad after my mom passed away. And that was actually my first time actually meeting my dad. Um, Another thing that it didn't turn out so well, but it's all good.
How have you
Um,
been able to cope with all of these different situations?
Lots and lots of therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of therapy, lots of positive affirmations, family support. Um, I absolutely love, love, love my family. Um, we are very, very tight knit. Growing up in a single mother household, all we had was each other. And my sisters, we have a special bond because we watched each other grow up. We've helped each other grow up because my mom was constantly working and having to keep a roof over our heads. And it was a never ending battle for her. But I I struggle with a lot of big things and a lot of trauma in my past because of the past relationships and um everything that I've gone through in my life. It's made me stronger. But at the same time made me weaker. And it's from that weakness that I gain strength, if that makes any sense.
Hmm. So, what advice would you have for people that are dealing with trauma and, maybe even mental setbacks or different things that they've had to encounter because of life?
My biggest help, besides my daughter, is my my ESA, my emotional support animals. I cannot
Oh,
advocate enough for emotional support animals and service animals.
wow.
I absolutely love them. I my That's actually the what I want to do with the nonprofit.
Right.
The nonprofit is going to be called Babes and Bow Wows. Um, I'm going to handle the women's shelter side of things. It's going to be a women's shelter slash dog rescue. And
Wow.
in that shelter, we are going to be pairing. I have a couple of friends who train dogs, and they're going to be training the pups, and then we're going to pair them with the women.
Hmm.
And based on the woman's needs, will be determine the type of certification that the pup needs.
Right.
And at least one pup from every graduating training class will be donated to a disabled person in need who cannot afford the service animal from other organizations.
Right.
Um, that's my biggest thing that I want to do.
Gotcha.
Because I am on disability currently for PTSD. Um, and I do struggle with mental illness every single day. But it's because of those struggles and the hardships that I faced that I'm able to sit in front of you today and be like, hey, I'm doing this right now. I understand the need for a safe harbor, not
Wow.
only for the animals out there, but for the moms and the kids who watch their
Right.
parents go through complete and total disaster.
Yes, and I'm thankful that you're very transparent and vulnerable on the show and open. This is a safe platform for you, and so you said that you struggle with mental illness, trauma, PTSD. How long have you been battling PTSD for? And tell us about that journey.
Well, I've been battling PTSD for about, well, how old is Sophia now? She is 8 years old now, and since about then.
What have been some of the symptoms?
Some of my symptoms, I experienced flashbacks, a lot of flashbacks, nightmares, panic attacks. I absolutely hate panic attacks. That's actually how I lost my last job. Is I had a panic attack on the floor, and my boss didn't understand and could not possibly understand because A, he's not a woman, and B, he just has not been through the things that I have. Um, Before I moved to Oklahoma, back to Oklahoma, about a year ago, no, a little over a year ago, I was abducted off my street. Um,
How did that happen? What took place?
I was went down to check the mail. And we lived out in the country. I was staying with my dad after leaving my husband, and it happened so fast, and I was so scared. And this guy just pulls up out of nowhere, freaking hoods me and tosses me into a car. And I'm just sitting there praying, and it could have ended so badly, so badly. Um,
Mm.
I could have wound up dead, and
Yeah.
if it hadn't been for the fact that I've got so much going on, and that I've learned to those coping mechanisms that I learned from like childhood trauma, uh, because I've been dealing with a lot of I dealt with a lot growing up. Watching my mom go through what she went through and things of that nature. I've dealt with pretty much anything and everything that you could possibly think of. But it's because of that I have, grown up and matured into someone that I think that my mom would be very, very proud of. My mom was my biggest role model, because of her strength. After my little sister, after my little sister's dad, um, I believe I was around 7 at the time. Whenever they split up, um, I was either 7. No, I was 5 whenever they split up. And she had finally decided enough was enough, and she just said, "Screw men altogether," and just kept it as her and her babies. And I felt like doing that a lot whenever it came to Sophia. But and it's taken me a lot of time to work through my issues, and I'm still working through my issues whenever it comes to my relationships. But I guess you could say because I've gone through so much, and he knew the old me and not the me who's been affected by so much, that
Mm.
that my fiance has gone above and beyond the Call of Duty whenever it comes to taking care of me. He on a daily basis, he reminds me of, hey honey, don't forget to take your meds, or hey honey, and sometimes that gets really annoying because that when you're battling mental illness, the last thing that you want to do is take your medicine and put on a happy face and say, let's do this. But
But you're still here. You're an overcomer. And
yeah,
you're inspiring many people, believe it or not, because you're not alone. Many people can hide through and mask mental illness. Um, but then there are people like you that you're heroic because you are being honest. People need honesty in these days. They need transparency. They need to know that it's okay to not be okay and that it's okay to cry out for help and to get support. I think that's wonderful that your fiance is a selfless support. I tell you, in this world of people, there are not many that I have encountered that are as selfless as your fiance, someone that is, accepting of you in every aspect of you, and is there to grow and build something great with you, someone that can pour self-worth and value into you. So he sounds like a keeper girl, but
He really is. He's a great guy. He's a really great guy, and everybody has past, but it's because of his past. It's because of everybody's past that I think they grow into who they are meant to be, and whether that be from the strength or from the what's the word I'm looking for? Whether it be from the strength that they had deep inside, like he always says that I have battered women syndrome, because like he'll raise his voice or he'll say something and I'll flinch because I did go through situations of hell with my previous husband
was it
and
just emotional, physical, or
both.
mm,
Um, he actually threw a mixer at my head at one point in time.
mm.
Um,
How long did you endure that for?
like I said, 6 years. It was very, very hard, but that was the only dad that Sophia had ever known, and at the time I really wanted her to be happy, and she had that bond with him like nobody else. And I fight every day because I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Did I do the right thing by leaving? Because I know that
Mm.
this is him, but at the same time it's like, you know,
Well, ask this question. Had you not left, would you be here?
probably not.
So I think that sometimes you've got to love that person enough to let them go and love yourself enough to move forward. Even if you feel a void and you feel empty, it's never easy getting a divorce. It's never easy breaking up with someone you love. And it does not mean that you did not truly love that person at one time. However, you have to learn to love yourself and your daughter first. And God did not call you to abuse. God did not call anybody to abuse. I don't care if they gave you millions of dollars. You're still not worthy of that abuse. And if $1 million means you got to get beat down over the head, keep your millions of dollars. If
Exactly.
if you can put me in the nicest mansion in the world, but I've got to sit there and be muted or abused or cheated on, keep your mansion. So it's all about making sure that when you partner up with someone, that both of you are intentionally seeking out ways to love each other and to build each other up. When you have true love, there should not be massive amounts of anger and foolishness and name calling. There should be a safe place, right? There should be a transparency. Intimacy should be easy, right? You shouldn't have desires for multiple other partners. When that love is focused and it's beautiful, I'm telling you, it's like a powerful stream of water that just it brings people together and you become one with that person. And if there are different quirks and angst and things that you're dealing with because the way that person is treating you, it probably might not be real love. And if that person is dealing with jealousy, if that person is trying to be a taker and take from you, take your self-esteem, take your self-worth, take your finances without like partnership in this, tearing down your kids, tearing down your reputation, tearing down your faith, and whatever, then you've got to reevaluate and say, this person doesn't love me. And guess what? This person is not worthy of my love. This
I
is why
completely
I
agree.
choose to remain single because my thing is I deserve to be loved. And even though I might know how to love, that does not mean I have to love somebody just because I want love. I can reserve my love until I meet somebody worthy of my love, right? And I think that's the same thing with you. And I think you found somebody that he sounds like he's worthy of your love because he is helping you. He seems like he's a giver, he's not a taker. And I think, unfortunately, what you tried before, you sounds like you had a taker, someone that was taking and pulling you down. And I'm telling you, whether it's a male or female, because there are some abusive females out there too,
Mm-hmm.
male or female, if they feel like the only way they can rise and be great, whether they're a partner, whether they're a business partner, whether they're a person you're submitted to, if the only way they can be great or feel great around you is if they pull you down or push you down or diminish you, that's abuse. They don't have your best intent at heart. Listen, this is for everybody on the show. If you work with someone, if you are in a relationship with someone, if you fellowship with someone, I don't care who it is, and you're around that person and they're ashamed of you, they tear you down, they dismiss you, they they banter you, they gossip about you, they tear you down, they don't give you opportunity. That's abuse. So I think that you are now more kind of keen to what abuse is versus what love is. And I think the reason why you're having a hard time deciphering that in your previous relationships is because, like you said, you didn't really have an example from home because mom dealt with stuff, right?
Yeah, and it
You're like,
comes
if
to,
mom dealt with this, then that must be love, right? So I can deal with this and be like mom. And maybe if I had strength like mom, then I can, work things out. But that I think you started to see abuse never works out, right?
mom finally figured that out, like I said, around the end of the relationship with my little sister's dad. I'm the young, second to youngest, sorry. I'm the second to youngest out of 5 girls. Um, we have like the best the best sister connection whenever it comes to our I mean, it's gone a little wonky since mom passed away, and it's harder because us girls, we struggle to be around each other to because
You don't want
that
something bad to happen.
yeah, it's just
I
like
know.
last time that we were all together was whenever she passed away.
Yep. Families deal with that. I totally understand. And it's not that you don't love each other. It's just it's almost like you don't want to jinx each other and be like, okay, we get around each other or something bad's gonna happen. It's like this fear of the unknown. But I want to encourage you to at least maybe try to do a virtual meeting or try to do a phone call or group text or something, where
I
you all can reconnect.
talk to each other on a daily basis. And between me and my oldest sister, we talk on like a daily basis. My sister Amanda, she's actually taking care of my daughter at the moment. While we prepare her room. Unfortunately, we had a roof leak and it's gone crazy here. The like I said, the house is very very old. It was passed down basically by his grandfather last year, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been through the ringer a little bit, but
I can imagine. But, I think that it's great that you're making repairs and doing what you need to do to move forward. And speaking of that, the same thing about your business. So I want to ask you a question, Cheyenne. What inspired you to desire to become a business owner?
well, I've always wanted to do my own thing and be my own boss, and be I guess you could say, somebody's boss who understands. Um,
Mm.
and I've always had that compassion and that drive. And whenever it comes to doing things my way, I like doing things. I prefer to do things my way versus somebody else's way, and it not work out. Because if it doesn't work out in somebody else's way, I only have myself to blame because I didn't speak up. Now, if I do it my way and it doesn't work out, then I still have myself to blame. But at least then, I know I can say I at least attempted everything that I knew how.
Excellent. I like that. The fact that you're willing to attempt. Now, do you have any fears about starting this nonprofit?
Yeah, my biggest fear is that we're not going to have enough support. That it's going to end up struggling. And the dreams that I have for this, I eventually want it to go from like a single farmhouse to like an entire gated community where the women can work together, live together, and raise their kids together. as friends
Beautiful.
and close companions. Um, I'm going to eventually be talking to the local VOTEC here and see if I can't get them together and see about financial aid for the women to go back to school so that they can better themselves and have that sense of accomplishment. Because my greatest sense of accomplishment was whenever I finished my associate's degree. Besides being a mother, I have an associate's in medical billing and coding. So if I ever want to go back to school, I was supposed to be finishing up my bachelor's, but unfortunately, with mental health in my past relationship, I was out of the hospital so much. It was really, really difficult for me to actually complete. Um, but luckily for me, there's always going back, and there's always programs. And I was doing business marketing, actually, for my business for my major. Um,
How were you almost done, or did you just start?
I had like 3 classes left, maybe 4. Um,
Really?
yeah,
To
uh,
finish the bachelor's? That's it?
yeah. I have like macro and microeconomic
Yeah. Yeah.
statistics and
Hmm.
something else. I think.
Accounting, or I don't
No, I
know.
think my accounting. I think I passed my accounting, but I think I have just the statistics that I have to do. I wasn't quite good at the Excel part.
How long would it take you to finish, you think?
Well, the way that program was working for me, I was finishing up about every 3 months, a different semester. Um, so like I was working through it pretty hard. I went nonstop for a good like 3 years before I ended up like having to end up going in and out of the hospital so much. So
So,
unfortunately.
so do you think that that's a goal that you could set for this year to finish that?
Yeah, besides opening the nonprofit, I want to finish. I want to finish going back to school. I want to do that, but I want to have my business degree at the same time. I honestly think that would be a really good idea to go back to school for like animal behavior. Um, to maybe get my degree and become a veterinarian. That way I could better help the dogs that we're going to be taking in.
Wow, that's powerful. And, I want to encourage you to, you know, um, aspire, and not only aspire, go after those dreams. You know, um, I remember I had an opportunity to go back to school for a degree as well. And I was, when I applied for that degree, for that program, I was 8 months pregnant, I think, with my son. So many people were like, "What are you doing? You're about to have a baby and you're talking about going back to school." So I want to encourage you and say that it is possible, and I believe you can do it. Because if you've done 3 years, what's one more year? You can do it. So I think you've got a great support group. You've got your sisters. You have your fiance. You're going to have your business starting. So I think everything is working out for you. And so I wish you the best with that. Now, before you came on the show, I had mentioned to you, or I mentioned to the folks about 100 Successful Women in Business. I'm an ambassador for them, but I want to encourage you to also check them out and just reach out to them and see if they can even be a support to you. So their website is 100swb.com. So you can
Okay,
reach out to them.
my phone. Hold on.
Yeah, because I think that this is a wonderful community, and I'm sure that they have someone on board that can help you with your business endeavors. So I know that she's working it out. She'll be back on the show, but I want to say I'm very inspired by Cheyenne and just her ability to to come on this show and be vulnerable and to be honest. And so I want to also encourage each of you out there that if you know someone that is, suffering from something, or you might be suffering silently, um, to reach out and find some support, find a support group, um, so that you don't have to endure these hardships alone. Okay, Cheyenne is back.
Sorry.
It's okay. So I'm glad you're able to get that information down, and of course, we'll be in touch. Now, how can people, um, how can people connect with you if they're wanting to see how they can be a support?
Uh, they can get a hold of me through my Facebook account. It's Cheyenne Beasley. Or you can email me at beasleyc844@gmail.com. I'm working on opening up an Instagram account and a Twitter. But
Awesome.
I honestly want to broaden my spectrum whenever it comes to connections. I have a lot of connections whenever it comes to like Facebook and things of that nature. Unfortunately, buyer beware on this one. I recently wanted to go back to work so that I could get the money up so that we could start the nonprofit. Because that and disability does not pay the bills. Um, I don't know if you've ever known anybody on disability, but that's literally on SSI. I get about $800 a month, a little over 800, and out here that doesn't cover anything. Unfortunately, it does not. But and that's even with like the support of his family and us staying at his grandfather's house and everything like that. But like I said, I recently tried to go back to work, and my daughter actually got sick with COVID about month and a half into that one. I misspoke earlier. It wasn't my last job. It was the job before that because I was working from home my last job. But it was actually quite stressful doing the whole work from home thing because when you're working from home, you have not only the responsibilities uh, of the household, but you also have the responsibilities of your job at the same time. Whereas whenever you're in the workplace, you have your workplace to do your work, and then you have your home to do your homework, kind of stuff. And it's like when I'm constantly at home, it's like, well, you're at home, you should be able to do this. It takes seconds to do that.
Yeah. I think some students struggle with that too, with virtual learning, because there's so many different distractions, like that's my area of expertise is education. So I think many students, their minds drift and they're like, oh, I'm home, so I can play video games, I can ride my bike, and instead of going to school, they get distracted. And I think sometimes, adults get distracted as well. And so yeah, I understand that. I understand how that could be tough.
See, with Sophia, I actually homeschooled her for the first 2 years. About midway through her kindergarten year, it was actually on my birthday, which is February 20th. It's coming up soon. I'm really, really excited. I'll be 32 this year.
Oh wow! Well, happy early birthday! 10 days.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We are actually, but I homeschooled Sophia about midway through her kindergarten year. I was so mad at that school system in South Carolina. They were not the best of that way.
Why? What happened?
They were constantly, there was bullying, and I cannot stand a bully. I cannot. Sophia has the biggest heart among anybody, and because of that big heart, she tries to help everybody. And there was this little girl in our class, and she was disabled. she had burns on the entire side of her face. I'm not for sure the story there, and I wasn't going to ask, but she couldn't hear out of her ear, and the teacher was constantly on that side. Well, she couldn't hear the words that the teacher had said, and it wasn't during a test or anything, so naturally Sophia's reaction was to help the little girl out.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of talking in class, she went ahead and wrote it on the corner of her paper. And the teacher got onto her and she got a bad mark. And
wait, you're just helping a girl out?
Yeah,
was it
for
a quiz or test?
The word.
Was it a quiz or test?
No.
So how did you advocate for your daughter? What did you do?
Well, I tried to talk to the teacher, and I told the teacher, hey, she's very, very intelligent. She's very kind, and all she's trying to do is help somebody else. She is like the biggest helper. She's actually gotten several awards at her new school that she's in right now. She's going to Truman Primary over in Norman, and she just got the Terrific Kid Award up there. Back in.
Congratulations.
I'm really excited about that.
Where does she want to go to college? You know yet?
She doesn't know where, but she knows she wants to do biomedical engineering.
It's powerful. Beautiful.
She says she wants to be a biomedical engineer, a singer rock star, and an ear doctor.
I love it. She could do all three and more. So
yeah,
you're building her, and that you're paying it forward, breaking all the cycles, and she's going to be the one in the forefront to just continue on a powerful, wonderful mark and eventually an amazing legacy for your family. So this is a lot to be proud about. Very much so.
Well, before we had left South Carolina, before I left my husband, we were actually working on starting a nonprofit there. Her idea. She wanted to do a mobile STEM lab for the kids.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah, where she would take her free time whenever she wasn't doing soccer or Girl Scouts and go ahead and go teach the kids, because she loves science. Absolutely loves science. And anything STEM. She actually has a ball tournament on Saturday. So I'm really excited about that one.
That's awesome. I'm very proud of you as a mom and what you've been able to do. You've been able to bounce back, and as a result, you're starting a nonprofit. Your daughter is just springing forward, blossoming very well. And so this is a lot to be proud of. And I like also your animal advocacy and the fact that you want to build a women's shelter and an animal shelter for victims of domestic violence and other abuse, and those that also struggle with mental health. And so I know that you know of NAMI.org. And I'm sure others that are watching the show would be willing to reach out to you with open arms to help you launch this. So thank you so much for just your vulnerability and your transparency on the show today. I hope that those out there will reach out to Cheyenne and join her in this amazing endeavor. Now, Cheyenne, if you had any advice looking 10 years back in your life to your former self, or even to that might be in the rut that you once were in, what advice would you give to women or those that are being abused or those that are dealing with mental health and they're trying to move forward and succeed? What was it?
You're worth more than what you think you are.
I love that.
What you think you are. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, no matter how horrible they treat you, you are a rock star. You are your own strength. You are the strength of your family. And you have to put that first. You have to take what you know and take what you've been through and build on that. Don't let it tear you down. Don't let it break you. You have to build, and whether that be for the advocacy of others or just being an advocate for yourself. I know in Oklahoma it's hard for me, because in South Carolina, I had pretty much a 24/7 team on my side. Whenever it came to mental health, you're not so much, but I'm working on that. I'm hopeful, but you can't depend on other people to advocate for you whenever you want to advocate for yourself.
Say that again.
In my opinion, you can't expect others to advocate for you if you're not willing to advocate for yourself. Um, I know that my biggest struggle is speaking up, because I've always been taught that saying no or speaking your opinion gets you hurt, and either physically or verbally, it's still a mental struggle, and I have a hard time, and that's one of my fiance's biggest pet peeves with me is whenever we get into arguments or something like that, I shut down, and I pretty much just say okay, and back out and back down, because that's always what I've been taught. Well, suffering from PTSD and borderline personality, it's like I also suffer a little bit with disassociation because of the PTSD. Um, I don't know how much anybody knows about that, but it's not multiple personalities as as people see it, or as the movies show it. It's nothing like that. It's a constant struggle of feeling so distant, and it's like you can see the world around you, but you can't interact with it. And it's that distance and that loneliness that makes you like revert and go further within yourself, instead of expressing. And I battle with that one. I'm still battling with that one.
Well, I want to encourage you to embrace self-love and to embrace positive thinking and to repeat positive affirmations to yourself of you said my favorite word, rock star. So tell yourself, hey, Cheyenne girl, you're a rock star girl. You are loved, you are amazing, you have purpose, you are helping so many people, whatever. Because as you build that and you speak those words and believe that, then all the rejection that you think you're feeling will eventually dissolve and you will find the tribe. You'll find the people that were meant for you. I think in your situation, you were in the wrong hands many times. And now you've been out of the wrong hands. So now it's time for you to leap into the right hands and find your tribe. Find the people that like you, that will support you, and will be right by your side as you're building this amazing, amazing nonprofit and you're building a beautiful daughter and a wonderful family. So, with that, Cheyenne, I thank you so much for sharing with us your journey and how you've been an overcomer and now you're advocating for those that have been through what you have survived and what you are now shining through. So, with that said, we're going to wrap up the show now. So, guys, make sure you reach out to Cheyenne Beasley on Facebook at Cheyenne Beasley. Again, thank you so much for joining the Real Talk Show with Dr. India White. Again, the show will be aired on SoulNet WKDH radio station. So tune in to SoulNet WKDH on Mondays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you would like to be on the show, two ways you can do this. You can email me at india.white.123@gmail.com, or you can go to my amazing website, india-white.com, and go to the link that says Real Talk Show, and you can become a part of the show that way. Please follow me on social media. Here are my social media channels. Miss India White is Facebook. LinkedIn is the India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. And Instagram is Indie238. And my YouTube channel is India White 123. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, watch some of my videos on there. Also, the Real Talk Show will be featured on Swain Girl Media channel, hosted by Precious Swain on Fire Stick. So with that said, guys, Thank you so much again. So check out my website, and also check out Cheyenne Beasley, who is an amazing future business owner. Get connected with her on Facebook at Cheyenne Beasley. Okay, guys. And with that said, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Till next time, guys, have a great night.
Bye.